How would you like to dust off those old assets you've been collecting for months? What if I showed you a method to make any character work with the MotionMatch system? If that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. Welcome to Unreal Made Easy. First, we'll set up the character blueprint. Then, we'll create the MotionMatch assets. And finally, we'll customize your animations to fit seamlessly into the MotionMatch system. Well, let's get started. Okay, to start out with, the first thing we're going to grab is this animal variety pack from the marketplace, and it's free. We're going to use the pig asset in it. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and install this particular pack into our project. I'll see you in the project. Okay, now that we're in our project, we're going to go up here to the edit. We're going to go to editor preferences. In editor preferences, right here where it says asset open location, we're going to change that from default to main window. And then we're going to hit close and hit save. Next, we're going to hit edit again. We're going to go into our plugins because we need to enable the plugin. So if you type in TRAJ, that'll give us the MotionMatch plugin. Hit the check mark and then hit yes, and then go ahead and restart the project. Okay, once the project's restarted, we can close this plugin folder here. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to create the blueprint. So we're going to open this up. You can see that we've already installed our animal variety pack. We're going to go into the third person blueprint, go into blueprint folder, and we're going to highlight the character player character. We're going to do a control D as in David, and we're going to change the name of this to BP_pig, because this will be our pig blueprint. Going to do a control shift S to save. Next, we're going to double click on this, open it up, and we're going to set up two things here really quickly. So, well, first, since we have our MotionMatch and we're in the pig, we're going to add the component, and you can type in TRAJ again, and that'll give us the trajectory, and just hit enter. Next, and yeah, you can go ahead and compile and save along the way. Next, we're going to select the mesh. We're going to go over to the skeletal mesh component, and we're going to need to use our pig's mesh. So we just type in pig right here, and we can select the skeletal mesh. Now that that's there, do a compile and a save. Next, we go to the viewport. Inside the viewport here, you can see we have our pig. We can change this perspective here. We're going to change it to the left side because we want to make sure it's lined up correctly. So right here where this increment is, we can change this from 10 to 1 just to fine tune what we're doing. Now, with this being selected, we can use our mouse scroll wheel and scroll in. Now you can see right here, here's the bottom. It's pretty good, but I'm going to lower it just a little bit, and that should be fine. And if you need to make adjustments later, you can. Hit compile and save, and then we can scroll out with our mouse scroll, and then hit this left, and then go back to perspective. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we're going to go to the event graph, and at the top here, we're just going to create a simple slow down and walk animation because apparently the pigs do not move very fast. So in order to do that, we're going to control the movement. We're going to grab the character's movement. We're going to drag this off of here, and we're going to set max walk speed. Okay. Next, while this is highlighted, we're going to select it. We're going to put our mouse cursor down here, do a control D, and that'll duplicate it. And we're targeting the movement, so make sure we have that cooked up as well. Next, we're going to do something called a flip-flop. And we're going to put the A to the top here and the B to the bottom. And the button we're going to use to trigger our walk is going to be the middle mouse button. So we just right-click on the graph, type in middle, mouse button, and then we can just hook up the pressed to it. Now, the movement speed we're going to set just for now, it's going to be 100 for the slow walk when we first press it. And then we're going to go back to the normal setting, which should be 500. We're going to do a compile and save. Now, we're still going to need to do stuff with this blueprint, so we're just going to leave it up here for now. Okay, for this next part, we're going to create all the MotionMatch components, but let's go back to our content folder right here. So, right here, we're going to right-click. We're going to create a new folder. Well, actually, you know what? We're not going to create it here. Let me change that. We're going to go into the Animal Variety Pack, go into Pig, go into Animations. We're going to move this up just a little bit, and we're going to put the MotionMatch folder in here. So, new folder, type in MotionMatch. We're going to enter this folder. We're going to right-click, create a new folder, and we're going to put our animations here. But now, we're going to, while we're here, we're just going to go ahead and create our assets for the MotionMatch. So we're going to right-click, Animations, MotionMatch, start with the Post-Search Schema, and we want the pig skeleton. So we're going to do that, PSS, Post-Search Schema, underscore, pig. Control-Shift-S to save. We're going to continue on, right-click, Animations, MotionMatch. We're going to go to the Post-Search normal set. So that's PSNS underscore pig. Control-Shift-S again. Grab the final one. And this one we're going to duplicate twice. So we're going to do the Post-Search database. And we're going to select the pig schema. And we're going to type in PSD underscore pig. And then we're going to type in BASE. That's going to be for the base movement. Control-Shift-S. And then what we're going to do is, while that's highlighted, we're going to do a Control-D. And we're going to change that base to a jump, because we're going to use we're going to use a jump and a base movement. And that's all we're going to do as far as for databases for this one. Control-Shift-S. Now we need to have, I know it's a lot, so we're going to still need to do the animation blueprint, because that's what's going to drive our MotionMatch. So let's go ahead and click the animation blueprint. And of course, we're going to stick with the same skeleton. Type in pig. And then we've got that there. And then we hit create. So we're going to do ABP for animation blueprint underscore pig. Control-Shift-S. Now, while this is highlighted, we can just lower this down a little bit. But we're going to go back to our player character, and we're going to select our mesh here. And we're going to hit this arrow button. Because we have it highlighted in the other area, if we hit this, it's going to change it to the animation blueprint for the class. Compile and save. Now, this is not going to work yet until we start adding stuff into it. I think we're done with the blueprint for now, so we can close that. So the BP pig, we can close. All right. Next, let's go ahead and open up the animation blueprint. Before I forget, let's go ahead and go back to the content folder. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to open up the Post-Search Schema, which is PSS pig, because we're going to have to make a couple adjustments. Otherwise, the MotionMatch system won't even read it. So right under here where it says channel, we're going to drop that drop down. And I believe it's right here under, let's see, 0, let's see, samples. No, we want to, not to the 0 index, but to the index 1 under sample bones. What we're going to need to do is we're going to open up 0 under sample bones. And we're going to have to pick, see, by default, it's going to give us foot underscore L. This is the important thing to note. So anytime you're using a skeleton different than the mannequin, you're going to have to do this. So, and you're going to have to do this for each independent foot or leg or whatever is happening. So We're going to select this here. We're going to type in foot, and we're going to do the left foot first. So that's pig left foot. And then we're going to shrink that back down. Next, we're going to do the pig's right foot. So we type in foot again, and pig R foot. And look, you see I just got this velocity in position. We're going to keep this same thing as far as flags. So we're going to shrink that down. Now, here's the weird part. I've done some of this work already. So this is why it's going to be easier for you guys. Is you're going to hit the plus sign twice here. That's going to give us 2 and 3, which is going to give us 4 total. Now, we're going to need to get, this is going to sound strange. Yes, type in hand. We're going to get the pig's left hand. Yes, that's because it's his foot, but in this case, they're calling it hand. Yeah, and as far as the position, we want to make sure that the velocity is also checked. Shrink that. And then finally, you can do the same thing for the final one here. And we're going to type in hands again. And we're going to do the pig's right hand. And set the velocity here as well. And we can minimize all this and hit save. Hey guys, sorry about the interruption. So yeah, real quick. So what's going to happen here is we're going to, after we complete the animation blueprint, we're going to start going into customizing the animations to fit into the MotionMatch system. Now, this method can be used for whatever animations you want. Now, I know this video is a little bit long and daunting, but hang in there. You're doing great. All right, back to the video. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close this because we should be done with that. And then right here, we're going to go into the event graph. We're going to drag this up to here while we're heading into this animation blueprint. We're going to type in blueprint. And we want the blueprint initialize animation. Next, we want to drag off of here and do a cast to BP pig, which is from the one we just created. We're going to initialize this. We're going to promote this to a variable so we can use it. Leave it as its current name. Since this was created, we can drag this and put it right here. And then we're going to get character movement. We don't need this part here. And we're going to promote this to a variable. Like so. Next, we're going to drag off this character movement and type in is falling. And we're going to promote this as a variable as well. We're going to call this in air, question mark. Connect that up. Now, we're going to also need to get the trajectory component. Drag off of here. Type in get character trajectory. And we're also going to promote this as well. And connect it like so. Okay, so that should complete this part here. We're going to do a compile and a save. Now we got to go to the anim graph. Now right here, we're going to drag off of here, and I'm going to add a default slot. Just in case, you know, if you're doing this, you'll be able to use your animations. And then we're going to have to create 2 more components here. So we're going to go for the pose history. We're going to right click on this, go to the pen, left click, and then grab the blueprint for the pig, and then hit the trajectory. And we can connect that up. Next, we're going to need the MotionMatch. And we don't want this. We want this, the post-search motion match right here. We're going to drag off of here, and we're going to grab a select. And we're only going to need two things. So we're going to need the base database, and we're also going to need the jump database. And we're going to go ahead and we can connect this up too. Now, right here for the wildcard, because if it's in the air, that's when we want it to switch databases. So we're going to grab the in air, drag it to the wildcard, and that way if it's in the air, it'll switch to this jump database for the select. Compile and save. Okay, so now it's time for the fun part. Now, we're going to have to go into our content drawer. We're going to go into the animal variety. Well, actually, we'll go back here to the motion, our motion match. So right here, we're going to need to find a jump, okay? So now this is the part where we're going to start creating our custom animations. And actually, before we do that, let's, while we're in this folder here, the animations, we're going to go into the MotionMatch folder. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to left click, hold down, left click and get the pig base database and the jump. So hold down the control and left shift or left click, and then that'll open that, that'll highlight that. Right click and then just hit edit, and we're going to pull both of those up like so. And then, okay, so right here, we're going right back down to the content folder, and we're going to start by creating our jump post-search database. So in order to do that, we're going to need to go into the animations. Let's see. I'm sorry. We're going to go back out to, we're in our MotionMatch folder animation. We're going to go to the animations. And then right here under the animation folder, under pig, under the variety pack, we're going to just type in jump. Now, this has limited amount of animations, which is okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick the jump attack with the RM at the end, which stands for root motion. We're going to duplicate this and we're going to rename it, okay? So let's do it one time first. And we're going to change this. We're going to leave the 1 there. But instead of it being this anim, we're going to delete this first part. We're just going to call it pig jump attack. We're going to get rid of the attack. So pig jump underscore root motion 1. Hit enter. And then Control Shift S. Now we're going to duplicate this 2 more times. So we're going to do Control D. So highlight it, click off of it, click on it, Control D, hit enter. Click away, click on it, Control D again, and hit enter. And we're going to do a Control Shift S just to save that. And we're going to left click on the first root motion one, and then shift and left click and grab all these, right click and select edit. What that's going to do is it's going to open all these up. So we're going to start with the first one, and we're going to pause it, hit this backspace here to actually bring it to the beginning. And then what we want to do is we want to go into the skeleton tree in this upper left here, and we want to select the root bone. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to get the animation to where he's jumping up. And here, to make it easier, we can rotate it a little bit. So we want to make it to where it's halfway between jumping up. So we want it about right here, maybe about 14. Okay, and we're going to right click. Let me see, let's do this again. We're going to right click, and we're going to remove frames, because this is going to be one. We're going to remove all the frames from 15 to 36. Okay, so what will happen is he'll just jump up. That's it. We're going to hit save, and we're done. Well, actually, we're not done with this yet. We need to go to the asset details and go down to the bottom, enable the root motion, enable the force root lock, and we're going to hit save. We're going to close that, go to the number 2 one, or no, actually, let's go to the number 3 one. So on the third one, we're going to pause again, put it back at the beginning. We're going to drag this out until we get to the part where about the same area you were at before. So at about 14 mark, we're going to right click and we're going to remove everything from 0 to 15 because this will be the landing. That's what number 3 will be for. And then what should happen is when we hit play, it's just going to show the pig just landing. Scroll down to the left here, enable the root motion and the force root lock. Hit save, and we're going to be done with this one as well. Now, we're going to pause this again here, and we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to grab it by about the 13 mark. Or maybe we can, I guess we can still grab it by, let's say the 13 mark. And we're going to right click. We're going to move everything from 0 to 13. And then we're going to move it forward just a bit to about this 2 mark, I guess. And we're going to right click and remove everything from 3 to 23. And what will happen is you'll get this like middle part here. Now, like I said, this won't be perfect, but it'll give you a basic root mode. It'll give you a basic animation for your jump post-search database. So we're going to scroll down here to the bottom on the left side, enable root motion, enable force lock, and then we're going to hit save. And then we can close this final one out. Now, while we're here, we can go ahead, since we've got all of these, everything's saved, we can left click, shift, and grab all 3 of these and drag and drop them into the post-search database for the jump. Hit save. And that should do it for that. And if you look, we've got all of our movements here. And that's because earlier we did the post-search schema and we added the pig's hands, which is funny. But yes, so that's how that works. Okay, we're pretty much done with the pig jump, so we can close that. And now we've got the pig base. Now we have to create the animations for this. Okay, and while we're here, what I like to do is whenever I make something new like this, I want to make sure that while we're under the pig animations, we're going to go to the left here and get this MotionMatch, and in our animations folder, oh, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Okay, let's go back. So we're going back to our animations folder, but we want to make sure we open this up right here. And what I want to do is I want to grab all these. So we can just do a left click shift, and we're going to grab and drag all these 3 right here and put them into the animation folder under animations. We're just going to move them there. Now, we can change this, and what we're going to look for now in this folder is we're going to look for the walk. Okay. Now, the walk we want the regular walk because we're going to create our own root motion. So with this anim pig walk, this is the one we want. Okay. Now that we're in this folder, we're going to need to create these animations. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the third person map. We're going to zoom in. We're going to pick a spot in the map. We're going to grab our anim pig walk. And what we're going to do is we're going to need to extend this animation. We're going to use the level sequencer to do it. So what we're going to do while this is here, we're going to turn the pig about 90 degrees. And then what we're going to do is while we're here, we're going to create something. Well, we can close that. We're going to go into our MotionMatch and into our animations folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a level sequencer. So we're going to go to Cinematics, Level Sequence. And it doesn't matter what it's named. We can just Control Shift S. But we will need to open this up. Now, once we've double clicked and opened it up, with this highlighted, I'm going to hit W just in case I need to move it. We're going to hit the add button, actor in the sequence. We're going to select the pig walk. Now, for this here, you're going to hold the control button, scroll just to give us a little bit more space, and we're going to add some animations. So we're going to add the walk animation. What animation we want is the regular walk, not the root motion. So RM's root, we want the walk one. Okay, perfect. Now that we've got that, we're going to extend this out a bit. And we need this to be 10, we need this 10 times so the pig walks longer. So we're going to left click to highlight it, do a Control D, and we're going to put it and drag it right next to that part right here. Now we're going to select that again. So we got both of these highlighted and selected, Control D. We're just going to keep doing that until we have 10 spots. Because each spot here walks about 1.5 to 1.5 to 2 spaces. So for whatever animation you want to walk almost 8 to 10 spaces. So we're going to left click again. We got 4 now, and we're going to do a Control D. And we're going to grab and drag these and put them right behind here, like so. And then we're going to left click and only grab 2 more because we got 8, so we need 10. And we're going to grab those 2, Control D, and we can extend this out a bit. We can move that. Control, scroll back, and that'll zoom out a bit. Grab and drag this and put this here, like so. And you want to line it up with the gray right here. So if you hit the play button, then you'll see that we're just walking for the full length of time. Now, we need to save this animation. So this animation, we're going to right click on the pig walk here, and we're going to bake the animation. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we keep this animation inside of our MotionMatch animations folder. So under, the variety pack and everything right here. Now, okay, hold on. Yeah, just highlight that. Next, just highlight it and call it pig _ walk, and we're going to call it loop because that's going to be the middle section. The longest section is going to be the loop, and we're going to hit OK. Export the animation, like so. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but this is going to be the animation walk start. So we want to only do 5. So we're going to do 1 here. Hold down the Control button, and then select 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you want to delete those. And this will give us our start walking animation, but make sure we put this end part right here to where it matches, like so. Okay? I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, we want it pretty close. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bake that animation again. So right click, same process. We're going to open up under pig, under animations, under MotionMatch, same thing, animation. But we're going to name this to pig _ walk start. And then hit OK. And then, of course, we want to export that animation. Now, for this final one, we're going to move this back here. We're going to only need 3 of the walking, but this is going to be for the stop animation. So we're going to do the left click here, Control left, and we're going to delete these 2 here. Now for the stop animation, you're going to need an idle. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to hit the plus sign again. We're going to type in idle and then breathe, or yes, because we're going to use the idle breathe animation, and we got 1 there. Okay. And we're going to do it while that's selected. You can see it's a little bit shadowed out. We're going to do a Control D again. And this will control our stop animation. So we're going to put this here. I guess we can play it real quick. And it'll stop once it hits that idle. Now, we're going to right click and we're going to bake this animation as well. We're going to call this the pig _ walk stop. And we want to make sure we go back and do all the same ones. So all that's set. Now we're going to export the animation. Now we're going to need to make our run animation now, and it's going to be the same exact process. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete all these. So we're going to select this, do a shift, select all the, well, let's see. Oh, no, I guess you have to do control. So select each individual one and then hit the delete button, and that will get rid of that. Now, we can still use this same walk thing here, but it's just the model. So we're going to add the animations to this to make our run. So, and we're going to do the exact same process. Only difference is we're going to use the run animation. So we want the run, not the root motion, not the RM, the regular one. Okay. And then what we can do is scroll in a little bit. Okay. And we're going to drag this over here, do everything exactly the same like we did for the walk. So select it, and we're going to make 10 of these. With these two are selected, Control D, and just select. Okay. Count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 2 more. Like so. You can test it out. Perfect. Right click, bake animation sequence. We're going to save it under the MotionMatch under animations. Pig underscore run loop. Export. And we're going to do it again. Get rid of these 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will be our pig's running start. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right click, bake the animation. Animations, MotionMatch animations. Pig underscore run start. Now we're going to delete these 2 right here. Got to add the idle, add an animation. We're going to do the idle breathe. Duplicate. Scroll back. Play just to test it out. Perfect. Right click, bake animation sequence, MotionMatch animation, pig underscore run stop. Okay. Export the animation. And we should be done with that. We can close that for now. Okay, so right here, now we've got all of our animations here. We're going to do a Control-Shift-S to save them. And we're going to need to open all these up, okay? So in order to do that, we're not going to get the jump ones because those are all set. We're going to get all the runs and the walks. So select the first one, hold down Shift, left click, and we have all of them now. Now we're going to right click. And then, well, since right click. We're going to do an edit because we're going to open each one of these up. Okay, so we're just going to start from the left. And right here, we're going to need to add the root motion. We've extended the animation as a run in place animation, but now we're going to need to set the root motion. Now, I already know the values that we're going to use, but when you're actually doing your own custom animations or from your custom characters, your older assets, you're going to have to figure this out on your own. But I can give you a basic guideline here. So let's go ahead and go to the skeleton tree. We're going to pause this, okay? And we're going to go back to the beginning of this right here. And for this, we're going to select the root bone, okay? It's going to pull this up here. So the location's 0 right now. We're going to key this frame, okay? And it's going to create that. It's going to pop up with the root and keyed. Then we're going to go all the way to the end by hitting the end here. And we're going to need to key that as well, but we're going to have to go over here, select somewhere down here, select the root bone back so we can populate this. Now, for the root run, we're going to put a value for this green part here, for this particular one, to 1,200. And we're going to hit enter. Now, if we maneuver this around, we're going to see that it puts our pig in a different location. So that's the location we want the root bone to take us. So what's going to happen is, so at the end of the animation, it starts here, and then it's going to end here. Okay? Now, we need to key this frame. So go up here to the top, hit the key frame. Notice that there's a little movement right here. So now that's in. And right here, you see we got 2 unsaved. We're going to hit save right here. And obviously didn't save everything, but we're going to Control Shift S, and that will save everything. Now, let's just go ahead and play. Now you can see that we've added root motion and everything's there. Now, instead of going through and enabling all the root motion and everything on this, I'm going to do it later after we've completed this, okay? So we're going to pause this. And what we can do is we can close this out. We should be done with this particular part. Now, let's go ahead and go to the walk loop, which is the other long one, but it's going to be a slower one. So we're going to pause this for a second, set it to the beginning, go to the skeleton tree, select the root bone, and we're going to have to key that frame at the 0. And then we're going to click here to go to the end. And remember, we're inside the walk loop, and we're going to click somewhere over here and then click back to the root bone, and we're going to select this middle part. Now, for the walk loop, it's going to be half of that because it's slower. So you're going to do 600, okay? And hit enter. And we don't need to really look and see because we know from what we did in the previous animation on what's going on, okay? So, and you see the red line here showing the root motion movement. So now, while we're here with 600 and we're at the end, we're going to hit the keyframe. And that's like so. Control Shift S, and we can close that one out. Now let's go ahead and do the rest. So same basic principle, but we're going to do the 2 stops and the 2 starts. Okay, let's start with the starts. We're going to hit the pause button in the beginning, skeleton tree, root, click away from it, click back to it so we can see it, hit the keyframe, go to the end, same thing. Click away, click back on it. Now for this one, for the start, and this is for the start, oh, this is for the run start. So we're going to do 600 for that. Typically, and then hit enter. Typically, you're going to do half of whatever it is for the walk, or you're going to double the walk for the run for each of these assets. So yeah. So once that's done, we're going to hit the keyframe. Now we've got the variation here, and we're going to hit save. And we can close the start for the run. Now let's go to the walk start. Same thing. Pause it, back, skeletal tree, root, into the middle part. And this is, make sure, yes, the start. So we're going to do 300 for this because it's going to be half of the run. And hit enter. And then we're going to, okay, whoops, oh, forgot. Let me see. So we're going to have to go back. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, we're going back here. Click away, click to the root. Let's see. Actually, make sure this is 0 again. Okay. So while we're here at the front and the root's here, we're going to hit the keyframe. which will populate it. Now we go back to the end. Just click away, click on it, click the 300. Yes, because this is the walk start. Hit enter, and then we're going to key it, and then we have our nice little line here, and hit save. And that's it for that. Now, for the stop, got to do the same thing, but it's going to be slightly different for the stop. So we're going to pause this, and we're doing the run stop right now. So we're going to go all the way to the beginning. So this part here is pretty much the same. Hit the skeletal, hit the root, and we need to key the frame at 0. Now for this one, we want to only move the root motion until the pig stops moving, which is going to be right about here. So see that? So once he's here, like see, once his feet touch down, just a little bit after that, you want to stop it here. And you want to click away, click the root here. And for the stop, for the run stop, you're going to do 300. Okay? Hit enter. And then you're going to hit the keyframe right here. Okay? And then you're going to hit save, because that's going to cause him to walk with the root motion to the point and then stop and start breathing, and that'll be his stop. Okay, let's do it again. So now we're going to close that out, go to the pig walk stop. We're going to pause this, go back to the beginning, go to the skeleton, select the root, and we're going to key the frame here. Then we're going to move this until the pig stops walking. See that? He stops right about here. So right here, see where his foot stopped? Right there. So that should be pretty good. And then we're going to click away over here, click on the root. And then right here, we're going to do half of that because this is the walk stop. So 150. And hit enter. And then we're going to, okay, we got that. And we're going to hit the keyframe. Okay. Hit save, and you're all set. Okay. We can go ahead and we can step out of that. So close that. Now, while we've got all these right here, and these are highlighted, we can right-click, go to Asset Actions, and we want to do the Edit Property Matrix. Go to the root motion, and we're going to go ahead and enable root motion and force root lock. Hit save, and then we can close out of that. Now, we need to take all of these and drag them into the pig base. And then the other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to go back to the animations folder where all the animations are, and we're going to type in idle. Now for the idle, I'm going to do the look around. So you always need an idle whenever you're doing movement. So we got the idle movement, and then we've got all of our starts and stops and our loops. And that's all the basics that you need for MotionMatch. So once you set these up, like if you have a character that can strafe left and strafe right and it has those animations, you could add that here. And you can custom make the animations have a start, loop, and a stop. And that will make a full animation. So like if you look here, if I hit the Control A right here, look at that. You can see all that. Now if I had strafe animations, I would add them. If I had walk backward animations, I would also have that. So yes. So let's go ahead. We're going to test out our work. And we don't need this here. We can delete this out of the level. Yeah, we don't need this prig reference. We can delete that. And what we're going to do is, okay, we're going to need to first, before we even start, we're going to have to change the main character with the world settings tab. And if you don't have that here, just, select window, click that, check the world settings, and it'll pop up. So right here under game mode, under selected game mode, we're going to change from the third person to our BP pig. We're going to hit save, and then we're just going to go ahead and, oh, we got one unsaved right here. See that? So we're going to Control Shift save, Control Shift S to save, and then from this point, what we can do is we can hit play. Okay, let's try it out. So as you can see, we're running back and forth. Looks pretty good. Now, if we hit the middle mouse button, it should allow us to walk left and walk right. And that's it. Now, if you have a problem and this character starts sliding or anything, what you can do is we're going to hit escape out of this. We're going to go to the pig. Let's say we're going to have to go to the blueprint. So we're going to close this and then close that as well. And what you want to do is you want to go to the content folder. We can close that idle out there. Go to third person blueprint. Go to the blueprint. And actually inside this blueprint here, double click it. Thought I just did, didn't I? Okay. Having a little issue here. There we go. Now, right here, if your walk is not working right and it's doing some weird sliding, which I've encountered, just go ahead and set this from 100 to like 90 or something, and that will correct the problem. So going back, we're going to look again. As you can see here, I didn't have to do that. I was very fortunate. So yes. Anyway, that concludes today's, let's show you the jump. Almost forgot. So here's the jump. Let's see. So the jump, okay, obviously when you're jumping, it's going to, yeah. Now it looks a little funky because, I'm working with the animations that we have, and it's a jump attack really, and that's why it's doing that. But you can see it's working. So that concludes today's tutorial. But before I go into that, I need you guys' help. I was going to add a reverse animation to this, but I tried doing it and I had a really hard time. Like I tried doing like the minus play rate thing, and then I tried baking the animations and re-implementing it. So if you could, in the comments, could you let me know? Because, I like to feel we're learning this together. So could you let me know if any of you know how to do this, on how to reverse an animation within Unreal so I don't have to go into Blender or something. And if you show me how to do that, what I'll do is I'll actually put a link in the description and create a separate small video for that. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.